Hi, it's Brett with NEO News Today. Today we have the Cruzeo guys. Initially we're going to launch on NEO as a ride-sharing app. Now they've pivoted. They're going for the whole service economy infrastructure. They're going to build out the protocol that other people can then use to build their own service economy projects. So welcome guys. Do you want to introduce yourselves?
Thank you, yeah, glad to be here. My name's Carlo.
My name is Doris.
Sure, so what are your roles within Cruzeo?
Well, we're both co-founders of the company, but I'm an executive director.
And my role would be the VP of engineering.
Cool. So initially you were going to do ride sharing. Where was that initial idea come from?
Well, there's just so many problems with the way ride sharing is currently implemented that we figured that one of the best solutions for it would be to decentralize it and to make it, safer and put the power back in people's hands. But when we were trying to implement it, we noticed that we were having to restrict a lot of the functionality to make it ride-sharing specific. And we said, why not just let people implement whatever they want on it?
So you're now building essentially a service economy protocol that people can use to build ride-sharing or any other service economy-based projects, right?
Exactly.
So what's the scope of that? Like, what are the possibilities here?
We don't see any limitations whatsoever.
No.
So our focus, or let's say the audience we write this for right now are service providers, any service providers, the local babysitter, the guy who mows your lawn, or someone who you want to write a new website for you who sits on a different continent than you. But other than that, there are really no limits, and in the future someone might do something completely different that we had not intended yet. And you can still implement a ride-sharing app on top of it.
Sure. So you guys recently partnered with NOS. That was a pretty cool announcement we saw. Can you tell us a little bit about what you have in mind with that?
Yes, I give that to Carlo.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, so the partnership with NOS is actually really exciting because they're one of the key players in the NEO ecosystem, right? And their role as the NEO operating system is actually really synergetic with our own, where we want to provide people of all technical backgrounds the ability to move their operations online.
Cool. So can you just break down for us what the protocol looks like? What are the different modules? How does it all work?
Haha, you want the secret sauce?
I want the secret sauce.
So there will be a core architecture, and we keep everything as modular as possible so that we can later exchange pieces if we need to. And the main process that we did the last few months was building out the API so that we don't need to change that in the future, so that the public facing API, so that we can open it to developers almost immediately. And there will be modules for that handle the payment functionality so that people can choose what they want to use to pay, be it NEO or Fiat. There will be a module that gives you the opportunity to create a user. That will be very basic, so people can design their own user login functionalities. And of course, all the decentralized components, we want to go fully decentralized. That means we will have to build decentralized storage for all the other things that are outside of the smart contracts. Carlo is building the modules for the smart contracts on NEO.
Yeah, so we're doing the NEO portion of it is going to move a lot of the logic into the smart contracts, right? We are trying to make it in such a way that deploying a smart contract each and every time doesn't cost the people 500 gas each time or 100 gas or anything, right?
Sure.
So we're trying to make it a little bit more flexible so that even people who want to do something as simple as like, hey, come on my lawn, you don't have to pay 100 gas with each job like that, right?
Cool. So you're actually one of the few projects that is leveraging both NEO and Ontology. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. We're using Ontology to do the digital identity management, specifically because they give you the ability to anchor trust in the real world, right? So if you have any sort of criminal background, that's going to be visible in the Cruzeo network. If you have certifications, that's going to be visible as well. So it helps us to really provide the trust that is lacking in a lot of online service contracts.
Sure. So you talked a little bit about reputation. So if you have a reputation that you build up on one project that's built on top of Cruzeo, that's the same reputation that you would have if you went to another project. So it's all kind of interlinked like that?
Well, it is, but I'm going to let Doris cover this one.
Yeah, there will be a basic reputation value that is assigned or attached to your account. Will actually be several different values. One of them being, is this a person who argues a lot about the payment, things like that. But again, the platform will be versatile enough that you can actually add your own review system to it. So if you want written reviews as the app owner, you just write that into your app.
Okay.
That's still a possibility. Other than that, we will have a thumbs up, thumbs down metric to keep it simple. And in the hope that people finally give real feedback, not like Uber where anything below 4 stars, it gives you a call from the company. Why did you rate this person only 3 stars?
A little bit invasive.
That too, yeah, and not very, it doesn't say anything much. If a driver now has 5 stars, what does it say? No one was brave enough to give him 2 stars.
Sure. So you'll have a token, I assume? How will that all integrate into the platform?
So we're actually planning on doing a dual token system.
Okay.
One is obviously going to be a security token, and the other one would be a utility token. The security token would secure dividend and voting rights for the platform, whereas the utility token would give developers access to use the network. Right, so kind of similar to what NEO does, but cruise and use token instead with what I just said.
Sure. So do you have anything that you want to say to the NEO community? Introduce yourselves, give a message out.
So look out for news from us, follow us wherever possible on Twitter or LinkedIn and Facebook. And the moment you have feedback for us, please tell us, or if you have questions, come to us. We are at the very early stages of the development, and all routes are still kind of open.
Great. Well, thank you so much, guys. And if you want to follow more Neo News Today content, you can check out our Twitter, YouTube page, or newnewstoday.com.
Thank you.